Hello everyone, welcome to Math Tired Club. I hope you guys are doing well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and also turn on notifications so that whenever I upload a new video, you will get notified immediately. Also share the videos with your friends if you find them helpful. That can help me so much to grow my channel. So happy to be here, and today we're going to talk about angles in the unit circle. I'm going to be back with my examples and unit circles in 2 seconds. Ta-da! I'm back with my examples and of course the unit circles. Okay, so guys, this is the very first introduction of talking about sine and cosine function. So the thing that is important for you is to know how to show an angle in the standard position. And the standard position is a position in a unit circle in which there is an initial side and there's a terminal side. I'm going to talk about it, don't worry. Look at this circle over here. So we always start from this side, which is called the initial side of the angle, okay? So whatever the angle they give you, you always start from the positive part of the x-axis, okay? This is the x-axis and this is the y-axis, okay? And when I say the unit circle, I mean a circle that has the radius of 1 unit. And we show our angles in the unit circle, okay? Unit circle is a circle that has the radius of 1 unit, and we show angles in the standard position. What was the standard position? Standard position is a position in which the angle has one initial side, which is always located on the positive side of the x-axis, and one terminal side. The terminal side is the side that is going to be located on different parts of the unit circle to show what angle we're talking about. For example, if I wanted to show 30 degrees, the initial side would be here, and then I have to go for like 30 degrees. So this is going to be 30 degrees. Something else that I have to talk about is the fact that angles can be positive and negative, okay? So an angle can be a positive angle or a negative angle. Look at this other circle that I have over here. So for example, if you look at this circle, as I said, the initial side is always the positive part of the x-axis. So whatever the angle I give you, positive, negative, 90 degree, 1000 degrees, doesn't make any differences. You always start from here, okay, this side. And then we have like a terminal side, as I said. If we go counterclockwise, meaning the opposite of how the clock is moving, the angle is going to be positive. And if we go clockwise, then the angle is going to be negative. For example, if I wanted to show positive 30 degrees, first of all, I know that from here, which is the initial side, okay, to here, we have like 90 degrees. Let's first talk about like the angles like 90 degrees. So this angle over here, this one, is 90 degrees. Okay, so, and we sometimes do not show the initial side because everyone knows that the angles in the standard position are going to start from here. So if I wanted to show 180 degrees, it would have been here. So this is going to be, oh my God, oops. So this is going to be 180 degrees. Again, the initial side is always this side, okay? It doesn't make any differences. This is 180 degrees. And, for example, the initial side again here, this is going to be 270 degrees. This one, positive 270 degrees. And if I go one full round and come back to the same place, this is going to be 360 degrees. What happened? Okay. So this is going to be 360 degrees. Okay. So, okay. And then we also have the negative angles as well. Okay. So look at this other unit circle that so look, if I wanted to show negative angles, then I would have it like this. For example, I wanted to show negative 90 degrees. The initial side is always the positive side of the x-axis here, right? So if I wanted to show negative 90 degrees, it would have been like this. right? This is going to be negative 90 degrees because I'm going clockwise, right? I'm moving as negative 90. So I'm moving in the way that clock moves, okay? If I wanted to show negative 180 degrees, it would have been here. So this is negative 180 degrees. And if I wanted to show, for example, negative 270 degrees, it would have been here. Again, the initial side is here. You go all the way to that part. So it's negative 270 degrees. And if I wanted to show negative 360 degrees, it would have been here. Okay, so that's negative 360 degrees, right? So for example, in the unit circle, if I were to show like positive 30 degrees, give me 1 second. So if I wanted to show positive 30 degrees, the initial side is here, this one, and 30 degrees is just not like half of 1/4, is less than half, so it's going to be over here. So that is going to be 30 degrees positive. And if I were to show negative 30 degrees, so if I were to show negative 30 degrees, so the initial side always is here, so I always start from here. Negative 30 degrees means I have to go clockwise, okay? So I have to move from the positive side of the x-axis, like in a way that clock moves, and I have to go like this much, right? So this over here is going to be negative 30 degrees, okay? And all these angles like this, okay? So I want you to pay attention to something before I start the other lesson. So look at the fact that some of the angles over here in this one and the other one are located in the same place, but they are different, right? For example, this one over here, look. For example, if I wanted to show like negative 90 degrees, as I have shown it before, this is going to be negative 90 degrees, right? I have to go clockwise, and this is going to be negative 90 degrees. But what if I wanted to show positive 270 degrees? Again, the initial side is here, and if I want to go 270, I have to go all the way up to here. So that's going to be, I have to use technology. So that's going to be 270 degrees as well. I want you to pay attention to the fact that these two angles are located in the same place, but they are different. One of them is negative 90 degree and the other one is positive 270 degrees. So what's with that? Guys, we call these coterminal angles. The angles that they do have the same terminal side. As you can see, the initial side is always the positive side of the x-axis, so that's not going to change. But the terminal side that they have is located at the same place. So we call these coterminal. Co means like together. Coterminal means to have the same terminal side together, okay? We call these angles coterminal angles. The angles that are different, okay? Because look, one of them is positive 270 and the other one is negative 90 degree. I mean, they are different, but they are located in the same place, right? So now let's go and work with the examples that I have over here so that you can practice and understand this even better. So first I'm going to go with the red one. Okay, it says show 120 in the standard position and then find 2 positive and 2 negative coterminals for it. So let's see what it means. First, I have to show 120 in the standard position. The initial side is always the positive side of the x-axis, so it's going to start from here. I know that until here, until this part, it's going to be 90 degree, and until here, it's 180 degrees, right? So I know that this is going to be 180 degrees, but I want 120. 120 is just like 30 degrees more than 90, right? So it's going to be, this is 90. So it's going to be 30 degrees more. Let me use the technology. Okay, yeah. So this over here is going to be 100 20 degrees, okay? So if I were to find two positive and two negative coterminals for this, guys, I always recommend my students not to use any type of formulas here, because I think memorizing formulas is the worst thing you can do to your math. Understanding it is the best thing. I will guarantee that you will understand this, and this is going to make so much sense later when you're solving trigonometric equations and everything. So bear with me. If I want to find the first positive coterminal, meaning the angle that is going to be located in the same place, but it's supposed to be different and it's supposed to be positive. So if it's positive, it means that it has to go counterclockwise and we have to go this way, right? So that's the meaning of being positive. So I have a question. If I go one full round and I go, oh, wait, let me get rid of the technology part. So if I go one full round and I go this much more, will I end up in the same place? Yeah, I will, because like one full round will just give me this much, and if I go this much more, which I know it's 120 degrees, I'm going to end up in the same place. So the first positive coterminal is going to be 360 plus 120, right? Which is going to be 480, right? And if I wanted to find another one, I would have gone just two full rounds and then 120 degrees more, right? So if I wanted to find another one, look, I'm going to show it with another color. So I would have gone two full rounds, one full round, two full rounds, and again this much more, right? So it's going to be 360, 360 and 120 degrees more, right? Which is going to be 840. So these angles are all the same. I mean, they're not the same angle. I mean, there are coterminal angles that they would end up in the same place. Does that make sense? Let's go and find the first negative coterminal to this, okay? So I'm going to use this other one over here. Give me a sec. So 120 degrees. In order to find its first negative coterminal, again, I will show it in the standard position, which is this and this. This is 120 degrees. So if it's like a negative angle, then we have to go counterclockwise. We have to go clockwise, right? So we have to start from here. We always start from here, the initial side, the positive part of the x-axis. And then we have to go this way to end up with a negative angle. We have to go clockwise. So it's like we have to end up in the same place, right? Like this. But we have to have like a negative angle. Am I right, guys? So let's see what that is. So I know that from here to here, I mean like this much, is like 180 degrees. Am I right? This is like 180 degrees. But what is this much more? I mean, let me show it with like another color. What is this much more? Didn't I say that 120 degrees is just like 30 degrees more than 90? So this was 90 and this was 30. So what would this part be? It's going to be 60. So it's actually negative 180 and negative 60 degrees more. Does that make sense to you guys? So it's like I go 180 degrees clockwise, which is negative, and then I go 60 degrees more negative in order to end up in the same place, which is going to be negative 240, right? So what about the next one? The next negative coterminal angle. So again, I'm going to do it in the same part. So I have to start from here and I have to go clockwise so that it would be negative. What if I go one full negative round? Okay, oh, wait. One full negative round and this much more. One full negative round is like negative 360. What is this much more? I'm talking about this much more. Didn't we just calculate it like 2 seconds ago? 240? Yes. So it's going to be 360 plus 240, which is going to be negative 600. That's the other negative coterminal. And you can continue this until infinity. You know, there's no stop for this, okay? I'm going to work with another angle. So let's go and talk about negative 225. So first the question says, show the angle in the standard position. Then we have to find two positive and two negative coterminals to it. So we have this circle. Look, negative 225 is, the initial side is always here, okay? So we have to start from the positive side of the x-axis. And then from here to here is negative 180, am I right? And this is going to be negative 270, but 225 is less than 270. How much less? If you calculate it, it's going to be 45 degrees less than negative 270, right? So I will end up exactly in half of the quarter, because 1/4 is like 90 degrees. Half of it is going to be 45 degrees. So this is going to be negative 225 degrees, okay? So let's first find the first positive coterminal to negative 225 degrees. Coterminal means the angle that would have the same terminal side, and the initial side is always here. So this is going to be the first positive coterminal, right? So we have to say what this is. So if we are talking about positive angle, we have to go counterclockwise. So we have to go this way. So from here to here, we have 90 degrees. But how much is this much more? Didn't we just say it's like 45? Because we said that this is like 45. So this is going to be also 45 too. So it's actually negative 90 and, sorry, positive 90 and 45 degrees more. Does that make sense? So it's like you go positive 90 degree and then you go 45 degrees more, which is going to be 135 degrees, okay? Let's go and find the next positive coterminal. So I have to again start from here. I have to go counterclockwise. What if I go one full round and again this much more, this much? So you may ask, okay, one full round is just like 360 degrees, positive 360 degrees. You may say, teacher, how do I know what is this much more? Didn't we just calculate it? Yeah, we did. So it's negative 135. So it's going to be 360 plus a negative, why do I keep saying negative? So it's going to be 495 degrees positive, right? I forgot the degrees for this one. So yeah. And now let's talk about the first negative coterminal. So first, we're going to show the angle in the standard position. It was negative 225, which is this one. So let's first talk about the first negative coterminal angle. So look, I have to end up in the same place and it has to be negative, so I have to go clockwise. I'm going to start from here. I'm going to go one full round and this much more. So one full round is negative 360 degrees. And guys, what is this much more? It's negative 225, right? So it's going to be negative 225 and one full round, which is going to be 585. Can you talk about the next one? So it's just going to be two full rounds and 225 degrees more. So look, I'm going to start from here. I'm going to go one full round in negative, of course, because I have to go clockwise then. Two full rounds and again this much more. So it's negative 360, negative 360, and negative 225 degrees more, which is going to be negative 945, yeah. So it's going to be negative 945. So Guys, I hope that you have enjoyed and learned this lesson. Working with angles in the unit circle is the first and the most important thing that you have to learn. In my next video, I will talk about angles written in radian measurement and everything. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this lesson. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and don't forget that I have one-on-one tutoring classes. I will leave my email here. You can contact me via email. So great to be here today. Have a great day and bye.